everybody, my name's Star Brown from psychicmix.com. I'm going to talk a little bit today about everybody on Facebook and in social media talking about the 21st of December, which is when we are actually going to be entering the beautiful age of Aquarius, where anything can happen and we start to live a more spiritual existence. So the feathers on our paths and the double numbers on our clock and the little coincidences that happen are going to occur more and more as time goes forward. The Age of Aquarius has been coming for quite a while. It all started off when we used the atomic bomb in 1945 in the Second World War, which is when the Intergalactic Confederation realized that human beings were going far, far off the beaten track and were ready to actually destroy the planet. We've continued, of course, with global warming, not caring about our wildlife, cutting down the Amazon forests as well as forests in other places of the world to basically destroy the planet. And now it's time for this shift to actually happen. So through the 80s into the 90s, we started to enter the 2000-year cycle of the Age of Aquarius. But what is happening on the 21st of December this year is that there are two very large, important planets which are actually sitting in Aquarius, and that is Jupiter and Saturn. Now, if you're just a normal human being plodding along through life and you're not living a spiritual path, you will probably start having certain situations manifesting in your life that are pretty difficult to work your way through, and it may end up leaving you feeling a little bit dazed and confused. But if you're spiritual, you can use the 21st of December to actually catapult your life forward in a very positive direction, and whatever it is that you're having to deal with in your personal life, you'll be able to look at it objectively and realize that it's not anything personal, and it's nothing that's going to continue and last forever. So Jupiter, the planet Jupiter, is all about expansion, education and wisdom. So come the 21st of December, our minds are going to be open for learning and developing and moving forward. You've then got Jupiter, which is all about boundaries, and it helps people to assist through going through very difficult situations. So you've got your difficult situations on one side, and you've got the knowledge and the wisdom on the other. And the only way that you get to achieve knowledge and wisdom is by going through the experience. Of course, this is going to be 4 days before Christmas, which is always quite a very high energy time of year. But 2020 has been a year that has knocked many of us sideways, and heading into December, you may actually be very concerned about how you're even going to have a Christmas this year, never mind buy the presents and have all the festivities. And particularly if you have children, you may be feeling very guilty that you can't give them the Christmas that they expect. Well, the Christmas that they expect is part of a capitalist society where you have Father Christmas in his red robes, and you have reindeers, and you have hundreds of presents all wrapped up in beautiful paper. You have a Christmas tree with all the lights flickering, and of course you have your turkey, your roast potato and all your fancy puddings. However, with COVID, many people have lost their jobs. They haven't got the income that they have got. So there are ways of getting through this, and especially as we have this strong planetary influence just a couple of days before Christmas, you may feel yourself getting a little bit stressed out. My suggestion is to, if you normally host Christmas, perhaps it's time for somebody else to host Christmas. So if it gets offered, or if you ask around and you get invited to Christmas, don't feel guilty that you're not doing Christmas at your house. Take the offer, because a plan can always be made. If for some reason you can't afford to have the Christmas that you're meant to have, appreciate the people that you have around you. If you've lost a loved one this year, don't forget to put their chair at the table and to light a candle for them, which is always homely, welcoming and very healing. We've also got at the beginning of the month we've got some lunar eclipses and solar eclipses happening. So on the 30th, is it the 30th? Yes, on the 30th of November, we have a lunar eclipse. Now the full moon always heightens everything for us in any case. I'm sure you've realized that when a full moon comes, sometimes you can have those arguments, you might be feeling a little bit eccentric, you are operating off the planet a little bit, and of course this also happens because of the influence that the moon has over the fluid which is in our brain. So that if it can control the tides or the way the water goes down the plug hole, of course it can affect the way that we think and our moods. But a lunar eclipse is extremely powerful, and a lunar eclipse will connect you to all the other previous lunar eclipses. In the same way that you celebrate your birthday each year, is the same way that you can connect one lunar eclipse to another. So the lunar eclipse that we have on the 30th of November, the last lunar eclipse that we actually had two. We had one on June the 5th and we had another one on July the 4th. So whatever you were going through in the last lunar eclipse is going to reappear, and it's up to you how you actually deal with it and face it. So if you remember, many countries in the world were going through the COVID lockdown. And lo and behold, if we haven't got to the next lunar eclipse on November the 30th, and countries are still going through lockdown. But this is a time when we have to live by Caesar's law. It means that we have to stop socializing, we have to sanitize our hands, we have to wear a face mask. And if you can do all of those things, keep your spirits high and realize that this is just a moment in time, everything will start to fall into place. With COVID, we've been forced to go into our homes and to focus inward on what it is we really want out of life. And we've also begun to appreciate the things that we once took for granted. So we have this incredible lunar eclipse that's happening on the 30th. Whatever it is you're going through on that day, walk through it, okay? Don't take things personally. You are being taught life lessons that is going to enable your soul to grow. So if we go to university and if we go to school and we get education, when we leave the earth plane, when we die and leave the planet, that education stays behind. But all the wisdom that we've gained through life experiences, that travels with our soul. So do not take things on a personal level. See the lesson. Is it to teach us patience? Is it to make us more humble? What is a lesson that we're meant to be learning to allow our soul to grow? So for the next 2 weeks after the 30th of November, we are still in eclipse energy, where there is life lesson after life lesson that's going to come our way. And the key is to remain positive and to focus clearly on what it is that we want. Most especially because on December the 14th, we have got a solar eclipse. And a solar eclipse is all about inner growth and rapid change. So you should find by then, if you've been waiting to be in contact with someone, if you are looking for solutions to life, that is round about the time, round about the 14th of December, that you are going to start having some very powerful realizations about what it is you want to manifest going into 2021. The lunar eclipse, of course, is all about your subconscious, about your desires, and awakening your inner gifts. So that's going to be on the 30th of November. So when we come to the 21st of December, which is also the day when you can get married for a year and a day according to the pagan ritual, and my partner and I have done that for 20 years. On the 21st of November, we marry each other again for a year and a day. And it's a beautiful way to press the reset button on your relationship. We are then going to be entering the Age of Aquarius, where nothing is going to be the same ever again. And we will live day to day, week to week, on the signs and the symbols that are around us and that are in the heavens. It's even spoken about in biblically that the signs will be in the sky. So keep an eye on social media for the various messages and signs that you're going to be getting from a 5D spiritual reality on where life is moving forward. You will start to see on your Facebook newsfeed and your Instagram and maybe even TikTok that the moon is in this sign and this is what it represents. Take that as your spiritual knowledge and your spiritual guidance. We are living in such exciting times, and the most important thing that you can do is focus clearly on what it is that you want to achieve in your life, and to develop very positive self-esteem. Smash the glass ceiling of what it is you want to achieve out of life. This December is going to be a time of very extreme emotions, because around the world we have had a very hard and very difficult 2020, where none of us can actually make sense of what it is that's going on around us. And as we get closer to Christmas, which is usually a time of joy and a time of happiness, if you are not suffering financially at the moment, and if you are in happy spirits, you are one of the lucky ones. But there are many people who are going to be suffering, they're going to be worried, they're going to be concerned, and Christmas is not going to be a happy or merry time for them. A lot of people have also lost loved ones because of COVID, because of heart attacks, all sorts of various reasons. I have never known so many people being taken from the planet at one time. It's very similar to what's described in Revelations as the rapture. You never know the time, you never know the place, so it's up to us to live the best life possible. But if there's one message that I can leave with you, emotions are going to be very heightened for a lot of people. A lot of people are also going through extreme financial difficulties. Make sure you take the time to turn around and ask, are you okay? How can I help you? And if you have the financial means, open up your door to others this Christmas Day. Well, I need to love and leave you now. I hope you learned something from what it is that I spoke about. I've done quite a bit of research about this, and I can certainly say that the 21st of December 2020 is going to be quite a game changer. Don't expect 2021 to suddenly turn around and be any different. We've still got COVID hanging around. It might get a little bit more hectic. You may find that you're not allowed to socialize in your country round about Christmas time. But remember, it's all about the spirit of unity and being grateful for what it is that we have. Yes, it's fun to have Father Christmas in his red suit, but your Christmas tree is meant to represent everlasting life, and the beautiful lights that you have on your Christmas tree are there to represent the souls that have passed. If you know somebody who has lost a loved one during this year, please keep them in your mind and your thoughts, that they are now going to have to experience their first Christmas without their loved one. And for some, it really is not a happy time. So for those of us which are very upbeat and we're happy and we're in charge of the situation, it's up to each one of us to spread some joy, and most particularly this Christmas, to care about others. Much love and light to you from Cape Town, South Africa. Namaste.